Where's the camera at? Oh, where's the mirror? Oh, oh, there you go. Been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know where and I don't know why. Why she's gone away and I don't know where she could be. My baby. We see what the title is. Stop looking for you and them. Stop looking for you and them. You know, like is coming up and always having like a good group of friends and just going through the years thinking like, yeah, you know what? It used to be a big deal not to want to let your friend down. It used to be a big deal to say, hey, look, I'm not going to let my family down. I'm not going to let this person down. I'm not going to do that. And so what I found myself doing for a lot of years was trying to be supportive, trying to be there. Because let me just stop there. I think that, and I've said this to people before, even when, I used to throw parties, Ron and I used to throw parties, is that, you respect people because guess what? Without people, there is no party, right? So basically, without support, there is no community. There is no gatherings, right? Because let's face it, sometimes people will say, well, we'll just go with who's ever here, which is true until it comes to a time when people really need support, right? So what happens is that a lot of times, a lot of us, we've all done it. I'm guilty of it too, where, you do stuff for people or you try to be there for people or you are there for people. And then when your time comes around, they're not there or there's an excuse or, yeah, I had to walk the dog or, yeah, I had to go out of town. There's always an excuse, right? But hey, you know what? That's just them. You know what I mean? I'm used to them acting like that. And like when I was younger, like in my 20s, 30s, I would do that. I would make a lot of excuses for people. And so recently, maybe a couple of days ago, I had a spirited debate with somebody, a young lady about something. And still, I thought our friendship was on a certain level, strictly platonic. And then when I had gotten hurt, I saw that, and what I mean by hurt, I mean physically hurt. Then I saw that, what really friends are, or how really, good friends are. Because, and I've said this in another video, they'll reach out, some of them will do what they have to do because, we never know from day to day how things are going to go. We never know from day to day, hey, listen, am I going to be here tomorrow? Because, we walk out of the door and we think that, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to come back in. I'm going to make dinner. I'm going to, wash clothes. I'm going to, do whatever. But when you walk out of that door, the only thing is guaranteed is that you've walked out of that door. It doesn't mean you're going to come back, right? So anyway, I'm thinking to myself like, hey, look, friends, family, like we should all be on the same page, right? But then I thought to myself and I was like, well, then that wouldn't make everybody, their own individual person, right? So if like, think about it like this. If everybody thought the way you thought, right? Because we don't all have great thoughts, but if everybody thought the way you thought, then there wouldn't be any individuality. There wouldn't be any, it wouldn't be a reason why you like this particular person or you like hanging out with that particular person, right? Because you would say, hey, look, they're just like me. And that's what makes things great is when you have people with those personalities, when you have people that are different, because let's face it, we're all wired differently. But some of us have better wiring. And you know what I'm talking about. Some of us have like, that like little thin wiring, like you have an electrician to come out to the house, change the wiring because it's all old and frayed from like the 60s. And then you got that good thick wiring. You got the good new white or yellow wiring from Home Depot. Something that's sturdy, something that, stands the test of time. And when it comes down to it, can you really get mad at other people? Can you really get mad at your friends or family members who haven't been, in your estimation, that great to you? And I'm going to give you my answer. No. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because guess what? There have been times that you've disappointed other people. Like me, I know that there's been times when I've disappointed other people. Now, intentions are different though. You have some people, and this is why I say support, and I'll throw out another word, consistency. So say for instance, if there are 5 things going on that you may be having or that you want support for, or, just even if it's just a friend, you want your friend to be around for. And there's constantly an issue. There's a lack of consistency. What you got to start doing, you can't keep blaming them. You got to start blaming yourself. And you may say, well, why am I blaming myself that my friend is not as consistent as I need them to be? Well, because you continue to allow it. People can only do to us what we allow. And, I've had this conversation before about being a nice person, being a good person. When you're just a naturally good person, nice person, and everybody for some reason thinks they're a nice person or a good person, that's not necessarily true. I just think most people are not bad people, but that doesn't mean that they are necessarily upper echelon good people, right? So when I say good people or nice people, people that, once again, they're consistent. They show up. They help you out. They want to listen to you. They want to be there. Because I know for me, I've tried to do that. And although it hasn't been reciprocated, not with everybody, because a lot of times it has been. So we're not going to sit up here like I'm saying I'm some kind of victim or something. No. But what I'm saying is that that's when you have to realize, hey, it's time for some changes around her. It's time for some changes. I am incapable of changing anybody. The only person that can change a person is that person. But, because we got so much loyalty, we got so much faith in people, especially those of us who are, of the good or nice or unselfish nature, we try. And we try. And we try. And, a lot of times, what do you get hit with? You get hit with the, that's how you do stuff. That ain't how I do stuff. You know what I mean? That's you. That's your way of thinking. Cause I think I said this before. I got a lot going on. I got a lot going on in my life, and my life is such. Hey, check this out. Everybody got a lot going on in their life. You think the same 24 hours that you got, I only got 12 hours, or you only got 10 hours to do everything you got to do in it? We all have it. And the only thing is that, like for me, you know what I've learned how to do? If I can't do something, I'll say, you know what, I'll let you know, or maybe, or anything. But most times, especially with friendships, I try to, get it done or come through or whatever. Now, I ain't helping nobody move no more because, a player's a little old now, so I'm not helping move anymore. But as far as showing up, trying to go with things, if people ask me to, I really try to make a valiant effort to do it. But this whole, I got a lot going on in my life, I got this going on and all that other kind of stuff. You know how long it takes to pick up a phone and check on somebody? Do you know how long it takes just to text and say, hey, look, you know what? I was thinking about you. Do you know how long it takes sometimes to get in your car and just drive over and, say what's up to your friend? And we all got to get better at it. Me too. But, just to do some of these things that people will sit and always make excuses as to why they can't be as good of a friend as they could be or a family member. I remember even before, sometimes with some of the women, you have some stuff going on and, because a lot of guys say this, a lot of women say this too. They'll say something like, well, you know what? I just don't trust. It's hard for me to trust women. It's hard for me to, trust and, just different stuff like that. And when something goes wrong or you catch them, you know what they try to say? I'm going to give you 2 seconds to think about what they say. Okay. 2 seconds is up. Well, you said you didn't trust women anyway. You said you don't trust me. You don't trust people anyway. Zero accountability, right? Zero accountability. But hey, we are all guilty of not being what somebody else wants us to be. Sometimes you might be dealing with somebody, a guy dealing with a girl. A man dealing with a woman dealing with a man. And guess what? Sometimes you got to be happy trying to, being a number two. Sometimes you have to understand what your role is if that's what you want to do. But if things don't go the way you want it to go, then you also, too, have to take accountability and say, hey, I know I'm better than a number two. The hell am I doing playing a number two? Right? And even if you're a number one and somebody's cheating on you or doing you wrong or whatever the case may be, then it says essentially, guess what? You're still the number two. If you're the number one getting messed over, I've been in that situation before too. I've been a number one, a number two, a number three, maybe the sixth man off the bench, whatever it is. But if you are supposedly the number one and you're getting effed over, then you ain't better than the number two either. Don't always have to be cheating. Maybe even though most times that's what it is. It just be the way somebody treats you. The way somebody wants to be around you. If somebody wants to be around you. Hey, I've been in those situations before too. I said, hey, I was looking for somebody to be as good as what I was trying to do. But I'm going to tell you, certain things play a factor. Age. Of course, sex of the person. By the time I was ready to settle down, other people were, they still wanted to run the streets. What can you do? What can you do? Because you're supposed to be the number one, but you're getting treated like a number two. So, in closing, what I want to say is, people are going to disappoint you the way we have at some point disappointed somebody else. But what I can say is that there's two things. One, take some accountability. Take some accountability. Number two, don't let it keep happening. Because then you got to start saying to yourself, well, especially if it keeps happening over and over again, which side you're on, whether you're a person that thinks you're a good person, nice person, or the person that always lets the other person down. You got to start asking yourself, what kind of person am I? Who do I see when I look in the mirror? Do I see a number one? Am I being treated like a number one? Or do I see a number two? And am I being treated like a number two? But hey, nobody has all the answers. It's just something to think about for the day. But hey, listen, do me a favor. Either way, live life. Don't let life live you.